Hi everyone, this is Matt with Keep On Cruising, and today we've got a deck-by-deck walking tour of Royal Caribbean's beautiful Freedom of the Seas. This ship was built in 2006, however it got a major refurbishment in 2020 as part of Royal's amplification program. It gave it a lot of the features that you find on the newer ships like the Oasis class ships. And we're going to start up here on Deck 14 in kind of a hidden gem. Now, most people think this is just where the suite lounge is and the crown lounge is, which they are, and those are restricted access. But there's a beautiful lounge up here called the Olive and Twist, and it's got a great view, windows wrapping around about 180 degrees. They've got a bar up here, and they have a stage set up with a DJ where they do shows at night. But during the day, it's always a quiet spot if you need to get some work done. I really enjoyed this part of the ship. Now, one other surprising thing is it's got a stairway that will take us up to Deck 15. So we're going to take a turn here and walk up, and let's just see what we find up here on Deck 15. And we're going to come to the Skylight meeting room. Now, I believe at one time this was a chapel, and it could certainly still be used for that if you wanted to do a wedding on board or a vow renewal. But it's kind of, I guess, taken away any type of denominational affiliation at this point. It is still a nice lit space if you want to take advantage. Still at the front of the ship, but we're going to drop down to deck number 13, and we're going to find a couple things up here as we walk up. The first thing that we're going to come to is they've got a lot of wide open sun deck space. It has a view down onto the adult solarium. You can see that they have lots of loungers set out up here. There isn't a hot tub or a pool, but it's generally a fairly peaceful place in the morning. Now, you'll see as we get to the back over here, the other big thing that they have up here at the front of the ship on Deck 13 is the mini golf course, Freedom Dunes. Now, Freedom Dunes, it's a fairly basic mini golf course. It's got a little bit of theming to it. It's definitely one way to spend some time out here. Got a beautiful view as well, and if you're parents and you're just keeping an eye on your children, there's plenty of seats all around. Alright, and still on Deck 13, but we're going to jump to the back now, and we're going to find kind of the activity area on the ship. If you're looking to get outside and do something a little bit more active, this is the area. This is where you will find the Royal Caribbean rock climbing wall. They have a fairly large sport court set up here. It can do basketball. It can do soccer. I'm not sure if it'll do pickleball. Pickleball's become pretty popular on cruise ships, and I did not see that. As we move a little bit further forward, you can see they've got some table tennis tables set up here. It is free to play. It is wide open, so be careful. Continuing to move towards the aft of the ship, and we're going to come to the Perfect Storm water slide, Cyclone and Typhoon. Now, these were added in 2020 as part of Royal's amplification program. This was actually the last ship to get amplified before COVID came in. It added a lot of the amenities, like I mentioned, from the newer ships like the Oasis class and brought them onto these Freedom class of ships. We'll continue a little bit further forward, and what we'll find is the Flow Rider, which is the surf simulator. If you want to learn how to surf or you want a bodyboard, they've got lessons or they've got open times. Heading back again towards the front of the ship, we'll get a better look at the rock climbing wall and over here at the sport court before we get ready to move on. Alright, and still at the aft of the ship, but dropping down to Deck 12, and we're going to see Adventure Ocean, which is where they have the kids clubs and play areas set up. This is where they've got the juniors and then also the younger children's area, the nursery, and a playroom, and also the arcade, which we'll pop into real quick. Now, it's not a very large arcade. It's kind of small given the size of the ship that it is, but it does have some fun things in there. It has air hockey, Has some video games, skee ball, of course. And we're gonna pop back out now. You can see the hallway there that takes you down to Adventure Ocean Babies, but here on deck 12 we're gonna hop outside and we're gonna go right and head towards the aft of the ship again. And where we're gonna get ourselves to is another one of the food options here on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas, and that is Johnny Rockets, your place for burgers, fries, and shakes. Now, this is not an included venue. There is a cost for this. There's a flat cover fee. $14.99 is what it costs for you to get a meal here. They've got seating inside and out. It's only open during the afternoon. So basically lunch into the late afternoon, you can stop by here and get your old diner fix. Continuing past Johnny Rocket, still heading towards the aft of the ship. And we're going to come up to a second set of entrances up to deck 13 where the activity area is. So if you want to get to the flow rider, if you want to do perfect storm, if you want to hit the rock climbing wall or a sport court, you can get to that through these stairs here. They also do have some seating set out at the very back of the ship. It is a nice place to catch a good wake view, especially before it gets busy out here on the sports court and flow rider. And returning to where we came out from Adventure Ocean and the arcade, still here on deck 12 and now heading towards the front area of the ship. And you'll see that they do have a walking, jogging track up here. And we can see down here on the Splash Away Bay, which is the water park area for young children. Alright, and continuing further forward, still on deck 12, you can see that they have cabanas set out, which are not included. You do have to reserve and pay for those. You'll also see there's plenty of seating out here too, so if it's packed down by Splash Away Bay or it gets too busy down by the pool, there is lots of sun deck space with loungers. As we get further forward, we'll come to the main pool deck, which we just saw down there on the left. And then one of the nice things that they did during the amplification, besides the water slides and the flow rider, was they added lime and coconut, and they have two of them here on Freedom of the Seas. One up here on deck 12 and then one down on deck 11 on the main pool deck. You'll also notice that they added in a lot of different types of seating. So besides basic loungers, they have outdoor furniture, chairs, couches, tables. And then finally, as we make our way towards the front of the ship, and we'll be able to turn and look down here on the solarium area on deck 11, which is the adults only pool area at the front of the ship. And turning and heading inside here by the front elevator bank on Freedom of the Seas, which is really quite lovely with the glass elevators, and you've got a view from top to bottom. As we turn around to the other side of the elevators here, we're going to come to the Vitality Spa. If you need to get a treatment, if you need to get a massage, if you want to just feel good, this is the place to go. Right here, Vitality Spa. Dropping down one level, still at the front of the ship, we're going to enter into the Vitality Fitness Club. This fitness center is huge. They have tons of weight machines on here, enough for anybody to get a good workout in. They have a ton of cardio equipment, and additionally they have a area for free weights. Hopping out of the fitness center, we're going to find ourselves in the adults only area, the solarium. Now this is typically a quieter area than out by the main pool because it is supposed to be 18 plus. It does have a pool here, but more importantly, it has two very nice hot tubs over at the edge of the ship, hanging over the edge of the ship, surrounded by glass. Alright, and headed back from the solarium, we're going to find ourselves walking into the main pool deck. Now, this main pool deck, it's fairly wide open. It does have another lime and coconut down here. They have 3 hot tubs and 2 good size pools, along with the stage in the middle where the lifeguards are, but also they will run shows throughout the day. If you get here early enough, you might find a spot. Be warned, it does get quite busy on sea days. Continuing towards the aft, we're going to come to Splashaway Bay, which is once again the younger children's water park area here on Freedom of the Seas. They have a water bucket, which is ginormous fun. They have wading pools. They also have 2 nice hot tubs for parents, so if you want to find a spot here in the hot tub and keep an eye on the children, you got a nice hangout spot. Right outside of Splashaway Bay is El Loco Fresh, which is an included, yes, complimentary fresh Mex place here on board. This is open for lunch through the late afternoon. And as you can see there, they'll have a bunch of stations set up. It's a really good option if you get here in the off hours. Please keep in mind this does get very busy in prime time from about noon till 1:30. Alright, and heading back inside here on deck 11 in the aft, and we're going to be at Windjammer Cafe. However, we're going to find here at the entrance of Windjammer Cafe 2 specialty restaurants. One is Chops Grill, which we'll take a look at here. It's kind of a classic steakhouse vibe. The colors are all dark woods. It looks appropriate. It's not an overly large space. And then on the other side, we have got Giovanni's, which is, of course, the Italian specialty restaurant here on Freedom of the Seas. Also, the decor is lovely and appropriate to what you would think for a classic Italian eatery. Alright, let's pop back out here onto the main buffet and the Plaza Bar, which they have right when you walk in very conveniently. So if you want to grab a drink before you go grab yourself a table, feel free. Now, this is a large space up here at Windjammer. It's split into 2 sides that duplicate each other. Outside those areas, there is a ton of seating, different types, high tops, low tops, round, also secluded spaces. As we walk back here, though, you'll see that we're going to come to another section at the very back, which has its own sections. One of the interesting things about Windjammer here on this Freedom class of ships is they have Windjammer at the very back with all these huge windows that circle around. It's almost a 270-degree circle that they have here from the Windjammer. Now, we're set up for breakfast here. You can see they have a lot of hot options and cold options, different types of cuisines depending on how you like to do your breakfast. One piece of advice: the only way into this is really from the front entrance. So what you'll see now that we're here in the back, it's not as busy, especially when they just open for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is what you'll find, is the front tends to get a little bit busier than the back section here. My advice to you, if the front looks crazy, I would wander off to the back for some peace. I love a wake view for my breakfast. Alright, and dropping down to deck 5 at the aft end, which is the end where the dining room is. But we're going to wait on that. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. So here we go out onto the Royal Promenade, which is a feature that was introduced on this Freedom class of ships. Really is lovely. You can see it's got a grand atrium that goes all the way from the top to the bottom. It's very ornate. It's got this lovely bridge that goes over here, which goes down to the 4th floor. Got the R bar over here on the left. I never saw that too busy. It wasn't a real popular spot. Over here on the right is guest services. Then we'll come up to next cruise. And then you'll see there's some shopping out here and then shore excursions. Cafe Promenade is one of the included food options here on board. It's also a great place to get your Starbucks coffee because they have it. Continuing on, we'll come to one of the features that you find typically on the Royal Promenade, which is a classic car. In this case, they have a Morgan. And then a new feature that they added recently is this here non-smoking casino. Right off of the promenade, we found the bar to also be a nice spot to go. They had TVs out with sports. Alright, and directly across the non-smoking casino is the Bull and Bear. This is the British style pub here on board. It has classic styling on the inside, all your dark woods and mix-it tables. They also have live music there at night, typically a solo guitarist. It's really good. Continuing on the promenade here on deck 5, and we'll see they have a couple of Coke Freestyle machines here. If you've got the drink package, you can make your own soda concoctions. And then we come to a staple of Royal Caribbean ships from this Freedom class and up, which is Sorrento's. Sorrento's is the classic pizza place, a pizza parlor if you will. It's got the classic decorations. You see lots of the dark reds and browns. They have pepperoni and cheese pizza all the time, and then they typically have one special pizza a day. They open up around lunch and they stay open till very, very early in the morning. You'll see that they crown the other end of the promenade with another royal atrium, which ends down at the Royal Theatre. Quite beautiful. Continuing on towards the front of the ship, and we're going to come to the Star Lounge. Star Lounge is another one of the entertainment venues here on board Freedom of the Seas. It is a fairly large space. During the day, you'll see things like bingo and trivia. At night, they will have live music or sometimes game shows in here. It's a nice space. They do have a bar. They will open it up prior to the start of shows, and then they close up right around the end. Just outside the Star Lounge, we're going to find the library and card room. As we pop in here, we'll see they've got a lot of different type of seating set out. It's set up so that you can set out a board game or a card game and you can play. It's also a nice spot where if you need to get some work done, if you've got to do some work on your vacation, here you go. Alright, and dropping down to deck 4 at the front, and we're going to find Izumi. Izumi is another specialty restaurant. This is the hibachi style specialty restaurant on board Freedom of the Seas. You can see that it's set up to look pretty legit. It's got the dark reds, it's got the appropriate artwork on the walls. If you've never been to a hibachi place before they cook the food in front of you while you watch, it's part show, part food. Highly recommended. Just outside of Izumi is a Royal Caribbean classic, the Schooner Bar. Schooner Bar has a nautical theme. It's got a bunch of friendly seating put out. They always have a piano set up, and at night they generally have a piano player and he takes requests. Been on a lot of royal ships. This is always a good time. Alright, and exiting Schooner Bar and heading further back here on deck 4. And we're going to come to Casino Royale, which is the main casino here on Freedom of the Seas. Now this casino is really big. It has lots of slots. It has lots of tables in here, and it's got a nice bar. It has a nice set of stairs right there. It takes you right back up to the promenade, so you're always close to all the action. Alright, and turning and exiting the casino and heading further back, and we're going to come into Playmakers. You'll see right here in the entrance of Playmakers, they decided why not have a few more slots here. Makes sense to me. This is a pretty big Playmakers. They do have a private area here that you can rent out the owner's box. So if you got a group of friends and you want to catch a big game, they're all set up for that. They do have Sunday ticket. They've got plenty of sports going on in here. This does get busy on a game day, so if you want to get a seat, I'd recommend getting here a little bit early. They also have billiards tables in here if you want to catch a game. Now they do have food here in Playmakers. The food is not included, it is a la carte, so you pay as you go. However, if you have a drink package, the drink's included from the bar. Alright, and continuing on deck 4 here and exiting out of Playmakers. Alright, and we're going to find ourselves here in Boleros. Now, Boleros is the Latin-themed experience here on Freedom of the Seas. They have live music every night. They have dancing. They have a nice bar here if you want to get yourself a mojito or some other type of rum concoction. They've got nice seating. Maybe you don't want to dance, you just want to hang out and watch everybody else dance. It has a fun, lively nighttime vibe. You'll also see here the Centrum, which gives us the stairs down here. And then on this end of 4, just like we had up on deck 5, we've got another bridge that takes us across. This time we'll end up here on deck 4 at the main dining room, and let's go ahead and we're going to pop on inside. Freedom of the Seas dining room offers a classic dining room experience. It really is elegant. It covers 3 decks, 3, 4, and 5, with an opening in the middle so we can look down. Everything is bright. It's got nice gold tones. It's very warm. All the tables have tablecloths for those that like a higher end setting. We found the food here to also be very good. Now, one of the nice things about deck 4 is it has a promenade deck. So if you want to get a nice view out of the ocean and close down to the water, you can always go outside on the promenade deck, get some fresh air. It is not as busy as what you'll find up on the Lido. One of the other interesting hidden gems here on Freedom of the Seas is they have a helicopter pad hidden all the way at the front, and it is accessible most days other than when they're doing testing and service. As we reach the front here of deck 4, we're going to see a set of stairs. Now this is the only way to access the helipad, so we've got to climb up. So it is something where you've got to have a little bit of mobility. It is a pretty steep flight of stairs. As we continue on around here on the Promenade deck, which takes us multiple decks now, we're going to end up at the very, very front of the ship here on deck 4 at the helipad. Helipad has a beautiful view off the front of the ship. It's got a large space. They have benches set out here. If you want to find another quiet outdoor area, the Helipad's a great spot. Now we're going to drop down onto deck 3. We're at the aft right now, just outside the dining room, where we're going to head forward here on deck 3. And we'll be at the bottom of the centrum, which will be the art gallery. Now, the centrum is that sort of stairs that goes up to deck 4 and then 5, where we had those bridges up top. Any of you that have been on a cruise before, you know that they like to set up these pieces of art for you to take a look at. They do some auctions throughout the cruise if you want to go get a free glass of champagne and take a chance to get a piece of art. We're going to keep working here, and we're heading up towards the mid section of deck 3, and we're going to come to the photo area. If you get pictures taken online, you can come down here. They can help you pick them out. They can help you get these printed. They also have some photography supplies here too, if you want to set yourself up so that while you're out in port, you've got the right gear. And then we're going to end right here at Studio B, which is the ice skating performance area here. And finally, our last stop here on Freedom of the Seas is the Royal Theater. This theater has a grand entrance down on deck 3. Keep in mind that to get to deck 3, you've got to walk down from deck 4 at the very front. You can also access this up on deck 4 as well. It has a really classic feel to it. This is a big theater space. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Matt with Keep On Cruising. If you did like this video, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you'd like more cruise content, please give us a subscription. And until we see you next time, keep on cruising.